Well, it is very clear that he saw nothing, and yet chose to say that he had seen something. So this is not a matter of if you see something, say something. This is a clear case of a member of parliament who we are told is a reverend minister deciding to peddle falsehood, deciding to lie about a government, and having been exposed, is now making a mockery of himself. I mean, you listen to him. Please, when you were talking, I was quiet.
I would not sit here for derogatory comments to come from my respected friend.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Nobody has made any derogatory comments.
You speak to the
I am saying that
and keep the sanctity
you have peddled falsehood against the government of Ghana.
I've not peddled any falsehood.
So let me demonstrate how you peddled falsehood. So keep quiet.
No flag came from Rwanda.
Maza, keep quiet.
So you have peddled falsehood.
Let's have a very decorous discussion. When you were speaking, I was here. And you've had ample time to make your case. Show viewers and listeners the same respect.
But keep
that
it
I've decorous. I'm saying that you peddled falsehood. He's sitting here saying that they had suspicions, and they put out the suspicions, asking questions and, soliciting explanations from the government. Number one, you don't hold press conferences based on suspicions. That is reckless, that is irresponsible. This country is a serious country. You cannot wake up in the morning because you are hungry or you overate and said, I have this suspicion. So I hold a press conference and require law enforcement agencies to investigate your suspicions. You think that is what our security agencies are there for?
He said he was engaged in oversight duties as a member of parliament. But
oversight duties is not about raising suspicions. That is irresponsibility. That is recklessness.
You can't ask questions.
When you are exercising oversight, you exercise oversight based on facts. Even if you have suspicions, the suspicions must have some basis. You've not done you didn't do any checks, you didn't provide any information. And you are talking about suspicions that you require state security agencies to spend taxpayers' money in investigating suspicions? That speaks volumes of this whole matter. It speaks volumes about your own credibility. But in any case, Samson, I submit to you that his press conference did not allege suspicions and did not invite state security agencies to investigate suspicions. He is lying again because he has been caught pants down.
You have a copy of the press conference.
We played the portion that you spoke about.
Are you a reverend minister?
Let me have it again. I want to read a specific portion again to him. Yes, go on.
Look,
go on.
I am reading a quote from his press conference, and this quote was reported by My Joy Online. This is a direct quote, and I want to read that to you. There is no evidence. This is quote Ntim FordJour speaking. There is no evidence of any medical referral or patient on board. Speaking about that ambulance aircraft. Rather, our intelligence, not suspicion, our intelligence suggests that the aircraft was used to smuggle illicit cargo, unquote. Where is suspicion? Why do you lie like that? Did you allege suspicion here? You are talking about intelligence. What is intelligence? Intelligence means that you have received credible information about the existence of some facts or a certain situation, and you are saying that because of that, you think that these aircrafts which arrived in Ghana were used to smuggle illicit substances. You made mention of cocaine. You made mention of cash relative to money laundering and so on. Categorical allegations. Now the President of the Republic says, okay, I want to give you an opportunity to share this intelligence you have with the state security agencies so that they can investigate it. I mean, if you don't share the intelligence with the state security agencies, where should they start their investigations from? So what any responsible lawmaker exercising oversight would have done would be to say, thank you, Mr. President. I will voluntarily, or I will happily honor the invitation of any state security agency tasked to investigate this matter.
Samson, ask him.
Yet you,
where the invitation came 5 days now. Where was it?
Chief, I think that you are being disruptive.
I
think you are being disruptive. I think you are being disruptive. I think you are being disruptive. Allow me to make my point. I think you are being disruptive. So you should have been happy about the invitation extended to you to adduce the intelligence you have so that the state security agencies can do what you're calling on them to do.
It's been said that by Felix Kwachiofosu that it was security called Afenyo Marking to make Reverend available. He denies that. And Felix is saying that he had sought to, Afenyo Marking replied back that because what he was doing was an oversight job, they may have to go through the speaker. So now National Security is going to write to the speaker to invite him in the same way that they have invited A+ and Mustafa to appear.
They are not assessing oversight. Simply, fundamentally, if you are inviting a member of parliament, even without oversight, that's a procedure. If you are inviting a member of parliament, even if he spoke from his garden egg farm on any matter that requires invitation, you don't call somebody, whether he's leader, you go by procedure. Had anybody used that procedure? It has even nothing to do about that.
Yes.
Listen.
You have no invitation, yet you lied.
Are you listening? Are you listening to yourself?
No.
You, a law-abiding citizen, a member of parliament, who claims to be exercising oversight, you say you have intelligence that certain aircrafts came into Ghana smuggling illicit substances. You even need an invitation before you go and adduce that intelligence?
That's why I wrote.
Maza,
that is why I wrote.
You have proven to be totally reckless and irresponsible.
That's why on 2nd of
And if you had a conscience,
why did you block that invitation?
If you had a conscience, you will be apologizing for that lie.
Why did you?
You will be apologizing for that lie. You are just proven to be a liar.
And reducing the presidency.
Thank you.
To a mere propaganda.
I'm not done.
Hold on.
No, something. No, I think
I'll return to you. Hold on.
Allow the security to do their job.
Reverend FordJour, in your press statement in paragraph 1, you said that the Air Med flight and Havoc Air private jet transporting suspected cocaine and cash. And then you went ahead to give the details of the flight and the time, the period they stayed in the country, and so on and so forth. Do you know, as a member of parliament, that if I sat here and made this claim, or any Ghanaian sat anywhere and made these claims, by now they would be either in custody or they will be in court seeking bail for a trial?
Do you know that anyone behind the cocaine bust, $150 million, behind the $350 million cocaine bust, behind the money laundering and the 12 container filled with gold and cash, busted in the full glare of media by national security, among other things we are asking questions for, should have by now been arraigned before court?
That's correct.
Shouldn't we rather be more interested in that?
That does not excuse.
If they are interested in my
answer for the question I asked.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that at all.
No, but I ask you a specific question.
I don't have a problem with that at all.
Because this is a liar who has been caught.
If the priority of the government is to seal and protect drug cartels, protect money launderers that they themselves have busted.
Those are different
issues. Members of parliament,
those are different issues
legitimately raising legitimate questions.
This is an allegation that you are raising, and we have to interrogate
security agencies. From when are they gagging?
Especially that you say the government position is incorrect. We have to interrogate yours.
Because the government spokesperson
So what should we do now? What should we do now?
The government spokesperson.
What should we do about what you have put out in the public? What should we do about it?
Please, the government spokesperson said that this investigation directed by President Mahama, he didn't mean it.
Let's not repeat these
and that it was only meant to make an example.
I'm asking you, what do you want to be done now?
They should go ahead and make an example of me.
What do you want to be done now?
They should go ahead and make an example of me.
You answer my question. What should be done about what you said now?
So let's move on.
What should be done now is for them to go ahead to say to do what they said they would do. To make an example of me and disregard the investigation that Ghanaians are calling.
You don't admit that you don't admit that you did any wrong. You don't admit that you did any wrong.
There's no wrongdoing. There's no wrongdoing whatsoever.
Is it okay for any citizen to speak about suspicions?
What is suspicion?
And speak about them publicly without talking to the security about it?
So since when did it become practice that when a member of parliament is exercising the parliamentary tools, we have a lot of parliamentary tools. One, the media is one. Raising urgent questions is one. Filing ordinary questions is one. Filing oral questions is one. Calling legitimate, relevant agencies before the committee is one. I have used 2 of these tools in exercising this matter. And so if you consider it wrong, let the jury add their judge.
The contest is that after you made a press conference and you became aware that you may have done wrong.
I've not done any wrong.
Can I ask you a question?
That is your conclusion.
I'm asking you a question.
There's no wrong.
Please, can I ask a question, please? After you made the claims in the public and you discovered that you were going to be a subject potentially of prosecution and jail, then you decided belatedly, perhaps having been advised by lawyers,
that is false,
to now try to use the Defense and Interior Committee to ask for the security to come and brief you. Otherwise, that ought to have been your first step.
I take strong exception to that, Samson. The reason why I wrote to calling for the joint meeting was because I respected the directive given by President
Should that not
Mahama
have preceded your press conference?
Nothing should have preceded what we did.
Thank you very much.
There was nothing
Thank you.
But let me respond.
Kofi, what did you want to say?
The strong assessment.
Hold on.
I have not done any wrong.
Quickly, hold on.
And it is false what you're accusing.
Kofi,
you should rather tell them to do the right thing.
What did you want to say?
When the state is threatened, it is really sad that the issue becomes partisan. If we didn't have the kind of polarity we had, and somebody says or suspects that something like this has happened, and note that drug trafficking goes to personal gain and national ruin. I think that if things were better, it should not be impossible for Parliament or persons like him to even be included with the security agencies to just investigate it, not because some wrong has been done, but for the facts to be clear.
Kofi, what he did, would you advise him to have done that as a lawyer? Would you have advised him to go public and speak about suspicion and belatedly go to seek to ask for a briefing by the security or to the Committee of Defense?
No, please.
Let me answer.
I'm asking you a question.
Your claim is wrong. That's not what I did.
Boss, you went to the press.
Please, your claim is wrong.
You wrote to the committee.
Samson, I disagree with you.
You went to the press on the 1st.
Samson, I disagree
your letter
with you.
You have repeated this about 5 times. 2nd.
And you are wrong. I keep prompting you.
Reverend.
When a member of parliament raises the question.
Reverend.
And you
have told us here. Reverend.
Please.
Reverend, hold on. You held your press conference on the 1st of April, correct?
In Parliament.
Thank you. Correct?
In Parliament.
1st of April, correct? And then you wrote your letter on the 2nd of April, correct?
Yes.
Thank you, Kofi.
So that letter is in response to the directive given by President Mahama. If President Mahama
you are asking for the security to come to your committee and brief you.
President Mahama said we should collaborate.
We have heard you.
Let the substance of the matter not be lost.
Kofi, my question to you now is
that must be investigated.
I'll come to you. Hold on. Kofi, my question to you
legitimate questions for investigation.
Would you have advised him to go to the press before President Mahama reacts? Then he writes to the committee, because that even gets it bad for him. But for President Mahama writing, he would not have asked the committee to ask the security to come and brief them.
When I, in the previous government, got credible information that Achimota Forest was being prepared for sale, credible information, I went to the public.
You had credible information?
Credible information.
What do you mean by credible information?
I had information that convinced me that there were preparations afoot to sell Achimota Forest.
Did you see evidence of it?
I had credible information.
Did you see evidence of it?
The information I had was credible enough, but it does not qualify as evidence. Let me finish.
If you were held to prove...
Wait,
hold on.
Let me make my point.
No,
you asked the question. Let me answer.
Again, you are a lawyer.
I would digress.
Reverend FordJour, sorry.
Let me answer the question. I will get there.
Kofi Bento, you know the basic principle.
I know.
He who alleges must prove. So if you had made that claim and you were asked to prove it, how were you going to prove it?
That is why I'm giving you the example. He who alleges must prove. You know as a lawyer that there are times when, depending on the circumstance, the burden of proof shifts. And
when does it shift? When does it shift?
My brother, you want a law lecture, or let me answer the question. When I finish, you can choose to. I said, I'm using the example of Achimota Forest.
Just tell me, would you have advised him to do what he did?
I wouldn't advise somebody to do that, but in this space...
Why wouldn't you advise him to have done that?
Let me answer my question, please. Listen, you are dealing with a national issue. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm saying If we had,
if you would not have advised him to do that, then your position is that he did wrong.
No, that's not my position. That's why I'm giving you my example. That when I put out the information about Achimota Forest, I was threatened with arrest and etc. I had my credible information. And look, if you Google Kofi Bento goof today, you will see MPP people blasting me online and saying that I didn't have information because I told
do I hear you say?
No.
Do I hear you say? Hold on.
Don't let me finish.
No, it's important. You finish.
I'm saying there are times. There are times when
you don't let us.
Do I hear you say? We are all at liberty to speak to suspicion, the way he did at the start, and up to today he can't give any evidential proof, and we should stay at that. And if the state gives a counter position, we should still deny and say it is fake, and we should be okay with it in the country.
The counter position is the official position. At this point, he cannot say he's denied it, except he has other information. But the position of putting out information which he suspects and which he has credible information, I'm saying that, look, my brother here, the president sitting in his office may not know everything going on everywhere. But you have a situation where when some of these things happen, people see it as an attack on them. That's why I'm saying the nationalistic view will be, look, let us find out what the truth of this matter is. Because we have this history, like Prof. Eni was telling you, where this country has been slipping and we are making some kind of, recovery. Let's not go back. It may be one or two persons trying to do something wrong. So where there is credible information, and it can be proven not to be credible, we leave it. I take the information that the state has given me. But I worry because, you see, in a sense, is the system that is being accused. What will it hurt? That's why I started by saying if we didn't have a polarized partisan atmosphere, to include the minority side of parliament and let the security services go into it, aircraft movement information is historical and is very meticulous. Let's just lay it out to his satisfaction, other people's satisfaction, and put out the information not in a one-sided way.
Yeah, you have said this. You have said this already. Members of parliament, the minority, for example, in their oversight duty, should be holding press conferences and speaking about suspicions.
No.
Before.
No. No. There is a process in parliament. God. There is a way to do it. Okay? What I'm saying, something is that, look, sometimes you can say, this is wrong, this is right. It is not always that it is black or white. There should have been a better way. I do think that the committee he occupies in parliament should have the wherewithal to, behind the scenes, go to the state authorities and say, hey, this is what we found. What do you think about it?
Okay.
And then, in a way, find a way to satisfy everybody that this is not what is happening.
Thank you.
We should get to the point where this becomes not necessary.
Thank you. Now, sorry I truncated your submission. Let's hear you now.
Mr. Kofi Bento is a lawyer. And he knows that spreading false information in Ghana is a crime. He knows that.
No one has spread any false information.
So you cannot say that anybody can wake up any day, put out any information, and if we don't have a polarized partisan system, we are supposed to investigate that. When the person
I didn't say that.
does not adduce any basis or evidence to substantiate that claim,
I didn't say that.
or to even necessitate an investigation.
Sammy.
What you are doing is that you are defending the indefensible.
Sammy, you know that.
You are justifying something which is totally wrong.
Sammy, you know that. Hold on.
At least you have given every parliament member.
Hold on. I get that. Then listen to my question.
You can give me 2-3 minutes before your questions come. It will help. Because you cannot ask me a question or truncate me after every sentence.
I'm not truncating you.
You don't have a lot of things to say. They've said a lot of things.
I'll let you say that. So, you know that acts of corruption, drug deals, they happen in the underworld.
Yes.
It's difficult to prove them.
Yes.
So sometimes, or most often, it is suspicion that is triggered for the investigation to happen.
My brother, it is not suspicion that is triggered for investigations to happen. And we are not talking about suspicions here. Let's not overly dwell on the word suspicion. I read a direct quote from their press conference to you. They alleged that they had credible intelligence Intelligence.
The press release is right before you. You are reading from somewhere else.
Being a nuisance. Your constituents are watching
to that.
You are disgracing yourself.
I take exception to that.
It is not your time to speak.
I take exception to that derogatory. I can imagine your discomfort.
You are reverend. Allow me to speak. Yes, stop this.
The cocaine and the money laundering. Who are you covering?
Look, I can imagine your discomfort is better than you.
Can you
stop
let
being a nuisance.
Okay.
I can imagine your discomfort.
You stated categorically that you have intelligence.
I will not accept.
Okay.
Now you are here. If you are a law-abiding citizen, you care about Ghana. You love Ghana.
You said more terrible things when you were in opposition.
True, the allegations
now we are calling
made,
you to investigate.
The allegations you made. At least you would have shared that intelligence with the people of Ghana. And you see, the impudence. He has the temerity to dictate to government who should speak for government. He says that the official spokesperson of government cannot speak to this matter.
Because he lied.
Who then should speak on this matter? What has Felix said, which you have proven to be a lie here? He's giving you the numbers of all the aircrafts, the dates they arrived. He told you that they had landing permits. He told you what they were carrying. He told you the number of days they had to stay at the Kotoka International Airport. He gave you the reason. But where did you get this guy?
Check the money.
What is the meaning of this?
Check that itinerary.
I have never seen anybody be this disruptive on news file. Okay. What is the meaning of this? Look, so he has given you all the details, and he has demonstrated to you that these aircrafts were here for legitimate reasons. They went through thorough security inspection by aviation security, by national security, by the national, by the narcotics, NACOC. All these state security institutions inspected these aircrafts, and nothing untoward has been done. He has told you where they went from here. He has given you the numbers. You can track the aircrafts. What again do you want to hear before you know that this man is lying? Because he has not given you any evidence at all. And he says that state security agencies should investigate suspicions. And Kofi Bentel is supporting him. Hey. His suspicions that he is not able to substantiate. This can only happen in Ghana.
No, what do you call
in other jurisdictions, this guy would have been blacklisted.
Look,
when we were in opposition and we were criticizing the dense MPP government, we always adduce evidence to substantiate our allegations. And that is why we were never... Look, the only time I was arrested on the allegation that I had published false information, the matter didn't travel beyond 2 hours. I was picked from the premises of UTV on grounds that I had published false information. I went to the CID, they asked me, I provided the evidence. Matter ended. You are here. You made spurious claims. You are talking about intelligence in your possession, in your knowledge, to the effect that certain aircrafts were smuggling illicit substances. You don't have any evidence. He's here, and you are entertaining him. You have no conscience. You have no shame. You are an embarrassment to your party. You are an embarrassment to your constituency. And it is only in a country like ours that you will be entertained. And I want to say this. If this guy does not honor the invitation of national security to do that job,
Sammy here.
Call them to come and arrest me right here.
I'm saying that if he doesn't honor the invitation,
Sammy, I dare you to call them to come and arrest me right here.
And he thinks that he can hide behind his parliamentary privileges. He lied bad because he will be arrested.
Drug dealers.
Some of us will insist that he's arrested, and you must substantiate that.
When you drug dealers and arrest protocol you follow. That protocol must be followed.
Follow it. That's all. And we will get to him. We will follow it. It's just a matter of time.
But here.
Every day for thief man, one day for master. Your cup is full. Your time has come.
Your cup
that
is
you
full.
Hold one press conference.
Your cup is full.
Your cup of cocaine. And the mind of the government is full.
Your cup of money laundering.
And my greatest disappointment. Look at the way.